Hey, I need for y'all to do me a favor, okay? I need for y'all to put Bird in the comments section, okay? Shout out to Bird from Pittsburgh. Y'all put Bird in the comment section.
Ah, shit. Here we go again.
So I'm sitting in the day room playing spades, right? And the door cracked. Now, of course, y'all know it's Tuesday, so we get the new inmates. So a couple guys came in and they standing over there by the TV or whatever. They waiting to get their cell assignment. Now, I haven't had a cellmate in almost a month, so I knew when it was about 5 guys that came in, I knew one of these dudes was about to be in my cell. I just knew it. I knew it. So I'm just looking or whatever, and now the game has started, right? So, I'm putting my hearts together, my spades together, my clubs, all that, my diamonds together. And so I see this white guy go upstairs, right? Now, he's being followed by this younger black dude, right? So I'm like, okay, one of these dudes about to go to my cell, right? And I see the white guy go in the first cell straight off the tier upstairs. So I said, okay, must be the black guy. So he go in the room, and my homeboy was like, hey, you got one? I said, yeah, I'll be up there in a minute, right? Because I had a lot of money on this spades game. I lost, okay? I lost the spades game, so I get up and I go upstairs, right? Now, this young dude had to be maybe 18, 19 years old. So I come in the cell. I didn't come all the way in. I just came like halfway in, and he was standing like by the toilet, like looking terrified. I said, what's your name, man? He was like, my name Ron. He looked down to the ground. I said, what you in here for? It was like, I unalived somebody. We can't say the K word or the N word on social media no more for some reason. But he said, I unalived somebody. I said, where you from? He was like, I'm from Flint, Michigan. I said, you from Flint? He was like, yeah, I'm from Flint, Michigan. I said, where about? He was like, I stayed in the Regencies off of Lippincott. I said, ain't that a trip? I said, who are your people? He got the name and people, whatever. Now, true enough, I be in Flint all the time, but I ain't been out in the Regencies and shit, probably since 2020. I went out there to pick my homeboy up, and it was real early though. But the Regencies, I don't know if it still be jumping off like that, like it used to be, but I don't know. But anyway. So he was naming people, and I didn't recognize none of the names. So I said, okay, yeah, I'm from Flint too, right? So I was like, how long have you been here? Because this is the reception center, y'all. And at the reception center, you can do your whole bid here. Normally, you'll be here maybe a year. But if you stab somebody or do something to a guard or you just unruly, then they gonna go ahead and get you up out of here. But typically, you'll be here. You can do your whole bid here. So I was like, how long you been here, man? He was like, man, I've been here for a year now. Now, it's quite possible, because this was a huge prison. This is Azkaban prison, y'all. And this is a huge prison. They hold about 6,000 inmates. So somebody could be there for 2-3 years and you have never seen them. It's like a city, a little city, if you can imagine, right? There's a prison setting. So I'm like, oh, okay. I said, all right. So I'm like, I said, okay, how much time they give you, man? It was like, they gave me natural life. I said, okay. All right, well, listen, I don't know if you know or not, but I got this bottom bed, and you got the top rack, If you need anything, just ask me, because, I can tell right now, and this is what I told him. I said, I can tell right now you ain't really got nothing. And how I know that, y'all, because we got see-through bags, like the prison bags they give you, whatever, they see-through. And you just see that he just got his clothes. Literally, that's it. His clothes and a whole bunch of mail, right? I'm assuming his court papers and maybe letters from his people or whatever. So I know he broke. He ain't got nothing. So I immediately, put down the financials on him. And I tell him, like, listen, don't ever take nothing from me. Nothing. If you want something, ask me for it. Don't ever in your life take it upon yourself to just go into and take anything. Always ask me. All right? He was like, yeah. And I said, I'm going to let you know right now, I might, I am a big dude or whatever, and I might even fit that look. But trust me, I don't like boys, okay? I'm in here knocking off a CO anyway, so just let you know that I don't do that funny business. If you a homosexual, you cannot be in this cell. He like, no, hell no. No, I'm not. I said, good. I said, don't have nobody in this cell. If anything come up missing in this cell, because I got a lot of shit that you can see or whatever. He was like, yeah, I see that. I said, so don't have nobody in this cell. All right, because like I said, if anything come up missing, I'm holding you responsible. Right? As you notice, I keep this cell clean. So I expect for you to keep this cell clean too. We both grown, clean up after yourself or whatever. Like, okay, I respect that, OG. And I said, I came with some other rules, like if you got to pass gas, get up and put your ass towards the cell, like out on the tier, and, do that. And if you got to do it number 2, you dump one, you flush one, type of deal. And I told him that, hey, like I said, talk to me. If you got anything going on in here, let me know, right? So as I'm turning around to leave out, he like, you said you from Flint, right? I said, yeah. He was like, man, it's this guy in here that's bothering me. I said, who? He was like, it's this dude named Bone from Flint, Michigan. He from where we from. He keep bothering me. I said, what you mean he keep bothering you? He was like, man, I know some things about him, but that he don't want out. I'm like, what is it? He was like, man. I said, wait, hold on. You said Bone? He was like, yeah. I said, over there in B block? He was like, yeah, I said, yeah, we from the same set. He was like, oh. I said, nah, you gotta tell me, because the way he looking, he like, he don't want to say nothing. I'm like, man, what's up, man? I know this dude. Like, what's up? Now, let me tell y'all about Bone. Now, this ain't Bone from the other stories that I told. This is a whole different dude. The Bone I was talking about was from Lansing, Michigan. Okay, there's always 3 or 4 bones in every prison, maybe even 5, depending on how big the prison is. No, this dude, Bone, was from Flint, Michigan. I grew up with this dude, right? And but he got locked up when we was about 14, 15. Keep in mind, y'all, I'm 27, 28 at this time or whatever. So Bone was locked up for a good 14, 15 years, give or take, whatever. So, he telling me like, man, listen, dude ain't right, man. He ain't right. I said, what you mean he ain't right? It was like, man, it's a reason why I got, transferred out of, I just came from B unit. I said, okay, what happened? He was like, well, I was Bone's cellmate, and, everything was cool. Everything was cool. Me and him was working out together. He was teaching me how to box. And, one day I saw something. I said, what did you see? He was like, now, them freak books? I said, yeah. Now, for the people that don't know what a freak book is, Y'all know when y'all go to like, they might got them at gas stations. It's basically like Playboy books or whatever. And what cats would do, you would get one in and you would just, get copies of them, make copies of them, like take the page off and make a copy and then sell them. That was one of my hustles when I first got in. I get a couple of books in from a guard or whatever and make a whole bunch of copies of different pages, and I either rent them out or just sell them just straight out. Right, that was my hustle when I first got locked up. But anyway, he was like, yeah, man, he would let me see the freak books or whatever, but I noticed it was a couple of them that he just never, it's like I never seen him look at them. It was like, he told me, never go in this box, right? And that's where he kept the freak books at. So, he just seemed like real suspicious and like really weird about it or whatever. I was like, well, I mean, maybe he got some stuff in there that he didn't want you to see, He was like, no, man. Look, one time when he was going on a visit, I went in there and I opened it up and it was like dudes. I said, what? He was like, yeah. I said, well, what you mean, dudes? It was like, man, it was like gay dudes, like it was like gay dudes, books. I said, what? I said, no, not Bone. See, I don't think y'all know who Bone is, right? And this why it was a shock to me. Bone was a thorough dude. Like, Bone was a hustler. Bone was a killer. I done seen Bone I ain't gonna say that because there ain't no statute of limitation on murder, so I'm not gonna say that. But Bone, I done seen Bone take 3 dudes' lives. I done seen Bone take 3 dudes' life in prison, right? And got away with it due to certain circumstances, whatever. But I know Bone is a hitter, and Bone was just a straight up thorough dude, according to until right now, what I'm hearing. So I'm like, what? It was like, yeah, but that's not it. So what you mean that ain't it? He was like, man, you know Coco? I said, yeah, I know Coco and F Block. He was like, yeah. He was like, now for those that don't know who Coco is a homosexual, like a sissy, I should say. And he prostituted himself. He sell himself. That's his hustle in prison. He sell himself. And he said like him and Coco be meeting at the library or whatever, and he was like, at first I thought that they was just, going over some legal work, but it's like every time he come from visiting Coco, at the law library, he'd come in, smoke a cigarette, and then go to sleep. And, sometimes Bone talking in his sleep, and he said something one day, and I guess he caught what he said, but I said, what did he say? He was like, man, when you like real relaxed and you laid out and you feeling good. I said, yeah. He was like, he basically was like, damn, Coco, that was good, man. That shit was fire. And then I said, what? And then he was like, oh man, what? Oh man, shit, I'm tripping, man. And that's when I kind of put 2 and 2 together, man. He was reminiscing about Coco. I said, what, Bone? He was like, yeah. I said, in the freak books. He was like, man, OG, I wouldn't lie to you. I know what I see, man. Bone got them books in there, man. He got them in there. I said, listen, what you telling me right now is a death sentence. He was like, yeah, I know. I said, listen, it's already out there, so I gotta investigate this. He was like, no, OG, don't do that, man, because he said he's gonna kill me, bro. Don't do that. I said, listen, anybody from Flint in here, we can't have nobody weak. He was like, bro, that's the reason why, he done beat me up already or whatever, because he figured out that I went in the box. I said, listen, I gotta confront him. I got to, because he a part of a certain thing that I got going on. And if he doing like that, no, he gotta go. He was like, please, OG, don't tell, man. Don't tell him I said anything. I said, don't worry, I ain't gonna say nothing. I ain't gonna tell him you said nothing, but I'm gonna go holler at him or whatever. He was like, all right, OG, just please don't say nothing, man. Please don't say nothing. I said, let me ask you something, little boy. He said, yeah. I said, the bone ever try you? He was like, man. I said, the bone ever try you? He was like, that's why he beat me up, man. I said, what? He was like, yeah, one night, a couple nights after, I went in this box and seen that or whatever. I guess he figured that I seen it, and, he beat me up for a couple days, and like on the fourth day, he told me like, I'm gonna be what's in that book, since I'm nosy. And he tried me, and I fought, and he couldn't get me. But, I ended up in a hole for 2 months, because, man, I just checked in the hole, because I ain't feel like getting beat up no more. I was like, okay. I said, well, yeah, Bone ain't gonna do shit. He said, all right. So I hit the yard with the homies, right? And I see Bone. Now, Bone is a big dude. Let's picture Damon off of Friday After Next. Let's put it just like that. That's his description. Damon off of Friday After Next. Same height, same complected skin, bald head, the whole nine, right? Tattoos. So he over there on a pull-up bar, right? And he working out. So when he see me approaching, he jumped down like, hey, what's up, Dante? We dap up or whatever, shake hands. And I'm like, hey, I need to holler at you, Bone. Walk with me. He like, all right, hold on. Let me get 5 more in right quick. So he jump up on a pull-up bar and, bust out 5 pull-ups. And he jump down. He like, yeah, man, I'm getting my swole on, DT. Man, you should get your swole on, too. I said, no, I'm good, man. Y'all got it. Y'all got it. So we walk. He like, what's up, man? Talk to me, man. Talk to me. I said, you got that money? He was like, yeah, I got that. I got that. You ain't got to never worry about that. I said, okay, good. I said, listen, I just got some information, and I need to know if it's true or not. He was like, what's up? So we steady walking or whatever. I said, look me in the eye and do not lie to me. He like, what's up, man? I said, you got freak books. It was like, yeah, you know that, man. You know that. That's part of one of my hustles. Yeah, what's up? You need something? I said, no, quite the opposite. He's like, what's up, man? Talk to me. I said, you got some gay freak books, man? He was like, what? I said, do you have any gay freak books? He's like, man, what you on, DJ, man? You don't take me as a guy just like... I said, no. This ain't got nothing to do with me, man. Do you got any? So he ain't say nothing. In fact, we are walking side by side and he stopped. Right? And I noticed after I took like the 4th step that he's not, on the side of me anymore. He stopped. And I turn around, I'm looking at his face and I'm like, what? Because the way he looking is like he's searching for an answer. I said, Bone. He was like, man, so he ran up on me a little bit. He was like, look, I do. I said, Bone, you know what the consequence is. He said, no. No, it ain't like that though. It ain't for me. Hell no, man. No, it's motherfuckers in here that's like that. So I'm a businessman, so I cater to everybody. So I'm sitting there and I'm thinking like, what? So he see the confused look on my face. He said, man, come on, man, walk with me. I said, yeah, you gonna have to explain, man. He was like, look, man, now you know it's motherfuckers in here that get down. You know, motherfuckers that like each other. So, I had a guard, bring me a couple of them type of books. But I'm not looking at them. Hell no, man. It's just motherfuckers in here, just like he didn't say women. He said the B word, dudes like the bees or whatever. And, some dudes in here like dudes. So I just said, fuck it. I'll just like kill the market and, get both. It's a good business move. I said, boom. He was like, Dante, I know. But no, hell no, man, that ain't me, man. Who told you that shit, man? Who told you that? I said, it don't matter who told me, man. I just need to know, is it true? He was like, well, yeah, I ain't hiding it, but of course I ain't just promoting it, telling everybody like, I got this, whatever. I said, Bone, let me ask you a question, man. He was like, what's up, man? Just put it out there. I said, you fucking with Coco? He was like, what? Man, who said that? Who told you that? I said, Bone. Now, the way that he reacted, I knew he was guilty. I done seen this time and time again. And listen, y'all, I don't give a dang who a man lay down with. At this point, I don't give a dang, man. This world is wicked. This world is freaked out. This world is over. So I don't really care what another man is doing. As long as it's not interfering with my business and what I got going on and the way that I'm programming, I don't give a damn what you do, right? But in prison, if you are part of my organization or affiliated with what I got going on, nah, that ain't happening, because you are not about to make, if you doing that, man, keep that on the low, and I bet not get wind of it, right? So now the way he like, talking and moving his hands and putting on a whole show, I'm talking about the circus came in town. I knew he was guilty. Like I said, I done seen it over and over and over and again. When you get accused of doing something that you did, and now you hollering, you hooting, just putting on a whole show. I'm like, man, Bone, chill, man. Chill out. He's like, no, man, who told you that shit, man? Coco said that shit, man. Coco said that. I said, man, no, man, chill out, man. He was like, no, man, you might finna be putting no allegations on me like that, man. Oh, hell no. Man, who told you? I'm serious, Dante. I'm serious. Who told you that, man? I could have, man, tell me who it is, man, and I'm gonna go do him in. I said, Bone, chill out, man. They're like, no, man, who said that, man? Man, you know how it is, bro. You know how it is, man. Ain't no nigga. If somebody came to you and said, and put them allegations on you, you know what time it is, man. Don't do me like that, man. Tell me, who told you that shit, man? I said, look, man, if it ain't true, I'ma take care of it. Cause ain't nobody gonna be out here making the city look bad, okay? But if it is true, Bone, he like, man, Dante, don't do that. Don't do that, bruh. I said, listen, Bone, I know you, but even with these freak books that you got, or whatever, man, I'm not feeling that. I'm gonna be honest. He's like, man, Dante, F it, man. If you want me to get rid of them, I'll do it, man. I'll just go sell them off or whatever. I'll be done with that. But this Coco, bruh, man, no, hell no, bruh. No, man, I'm not letting that go. Bruh. I'm like, well, listen. And I put my arm around his neck, right? And brought him in close where, I'm close to his ear. I said, Bone, I don't really too much care about the freak books. It's distasteful. But if you fucking with Coco, bruh, and I find out, you know what's gonna happen. He like, man, Dante, I know what I signed up for, bruh. I will never dishonor you, bruh. I will never dishonor you, man. I said, all right, Bone. So he was like, man, Dante, I got you, bro. I got you, man. Matter of fact, I'm finna go get rid of them free books right now. Right now. I said, all right, man, go do what you do. And I walk off. Right. Now I know a couple of y'all probably wondering, like, hold on, Dante. So you mean to tell me you was a part of an organization? No, I wasn't a part of nothing. I was the organization. Okay, the I was the program. You understand? I done told y'all over and over, what I was doing in there. Some of y'all believe it, some of y'all don't. And for the ones that don't believe it, well, hey, that's your problem. I ain't gotta explain nothing, right? But I guarantee you, if you was locked up when I was locked up in Maddox and Azkaban prison, look it up. Look up Azkaban prison. Then y'all let's see. But anyway, yeah, and I'm not saying I was the reigning supreme power in there, but there was maybe about 10 other organizations in there, in the court, in the gangs. But if I wasn't one of the most ruthless, most violent organization that was in there, if I wasn't in number one, I was shooting for number two. And that's a fact. That's a fact, right? It wasn't no half-stepping with me and my crew at all. No half-stepping at all. That's why I was so strict on certain things that you could not do. And one of the things was that you could not be involved in no type of man-on-man type of relationship, because that will make my organization look weak. You understand? There's a lot of issues that come from that. What that look like? We out there programming on the yard, and a sissy walk up and arguing with somebody in my crew. Do you know how bad that would look? Man, if that ever took place. Now, I done seen this happen in other organizations where they allow that type of shit, man. But no, over here, if you go on that side, you stay on that side. And you might... Well, never mind. Let's get back to the story. I'm sorry, y'all. But before we go on, do me a favor, y'all. I need for y'all to smash that like button for your big partner right quick. If you are not a member yet, make sure you become a member. A lot of y'all be like, yo, Dante, you be taking too long to drop the stories, man. We want to see that exclusive content. Well, I'm going to have the members link pinned at the top of the comment section so y'all can check out everything. I got my prison stories that I haven't released yet. I got the spot cartoons that y'all been asking for. I even got my short films. I got 3 short horror films on there. Matter of fact, I'm working on another one right now. But yeah, y'all click that members link so y'all can get them members only videos. All right. Let's get back to the story. So Bone get off the yard. He goes. He leaves. So I'm not even thinking nothing of it. I'm not thinking nothing about it, right? So I end up, hitting the weight pile or whatever, doing what I do. And you hear the code, everybody get down. Everybody get down. Now I'm looking around because I'm not getting down immediately because I'm thinking like something just popped off. I'm not finna just get down and a fool run up on me and put a knife at my neck or a razor on my face. No, I'm looking around. I'm getting down slow for sure because they only warn you 3 times, and then on that way you don't get a 4th time. You just get a bullet, right? So I'm getting down slow, whatever, looking around, checking my surroundings, making sure ain't no fool trying to cause me great bodily injury, right? So I'm getting down, I get down, right? So we all down, everybody looking around. It's tense because everybody, you don't know what's going on. So then they stop the alarm and everybody get up. So we all looking around like, man, what the fuck happened, right? Something had to happen for them to hit that alarm, right? Something crazy. Now, you hear this alarm maybe 3-4 times a day, right? So it's normal. Like I said, this is a huge prison, right? And there's always some extreme act of violence that's going on up in here, right? So I'm like, okay, whatever. So somebody come running to me. Hey man, your bunkie just got pulled out by Bone. Your bunkie just got pulled out by Bone. I said, what? So I take off, right? A couple of my homeboys, they after me. So I get to the unit now. They got the unit shut down. I can only see through the plexiglass or whatever. And they got the stretcher right there. And they at my cell, right? And they got the little dude on the stretcher and they bringing him out. So as he coming out, he's on the stretcher. He looking at me. He got this look of sadness on his eyes. And then his eyes just glossed it over, y'all. I done seen that look a couple times. I done seen that look a couple times, man, when a man soul leave his body. I done seen that a couple times. So I holler at one of the guys, I said, hey, what happened? I said, he got poured out, man. Somebody pulled him out. Now, at this point, they didn't know who did it. Because the crazy thing, the cameras don't even work up in here at all, right? Now, I know who did it. It was Bone, right? So the guards don't know what's going on. This happened, and this was my cellie. So I really ain't got nothing to do with this, but I do because this was my cellie. And I know what's really kind of behind this. You know, I'm talking to Bone about, you know, the freak books and Coco. And I guess Bone probably put it together and put the word out like, hey, what little homie at my old cellie? And they told him where he was at. And that's what I'm assuming what happened. Now, like I said, and I know some of y'all in the comment section gonna be wondering, like, man, Dante, so was you responsible, Dante? You the reason why the little dude got poured out by Bone. Am I the reason? Am I really? Y'all keep forgetting this prison. This is prison. I run an organization from the weakest. Listen, if there's a weak link in the chain line, the whole thing can break. From the bottom to the top, I got to make sure everybody's in top tier in my organization, right? So I got to descend to the bottom and investigate my damn self, or send investigators to see if it's true or not. If you don't want to get poured out and lose your life in prison over prison politics, don't commit crimes. Don't take nobody's life. Don't be out here robbing people. Don't be out here doing people wrong. Y'all got to understand, for you people out there that be saying, oh, Dante, you bad. You a messed up person. You a piece of shit. No, I'm not. This is survival of the fittest. A lot of y'all that be saying that in the comment section, oh, Dante, you heartless and all this and that, y'all wouldn't have made it. There's no way y'all would have made it because a lot of y'all is too soft. A lot of y'all, all that having the heart shit would get you killed. It would get you, you would get turned out because you trying to be Captain Saver, or you trying to, man, you got to understand, man. In prison ain't nothing but barbarians, savages. You come in there thinking you about to talk it out and you thinking it's all good. As soon as you turn your back, you get bust in the head with a grape soda can that's in the sock. You go in there trying to talk out your problems, man, and you get your teeth knocked out your mouth trying to be pleasant. Like I said, what's done is done. Now I got to go find Bone. Right? Because not only I felt like, yo, Bone, you only did this, and it got to be true because I didn't say no names, right? So this conversation that I had with this young dude from my city was exclusive, right? And this conversation that I had with him was exclusive to you, Bone. You see what I'm saying? So in my mind, the only reason why Bone did this because it was true. And Bone felt like I gotta silence this dude, right? Well, that's how I knew he was guilty. So I'm on the hunt. I'm putting the word out. Where Bone at? Where Bone? Ain't nobody seen Bone. I don't know if Bone somewhere, you know, getting the blood off his clothes because he poured the little dude out. I don't know if Bone is in another unit, trying to get an alibi going on just in case if somebody rat him out and get an investigation going. He could be like, no, yeah, I was out of bounds. I know I ain't supposed to be over here, but I'm over it. I've been over here with my homie or whatever. Because like I said, the cameras don't work. So they got to and believe me, they're snitches in prison. They will tell on your tail. They will tell on you, right? But that's why they got investigations or whatever. So I'm looking for Bone, right? And I go to his unit, nobody seen him. So I hit the yard. I'm asking like, y'all, where the fuck is Bone at? Where is Bone? I ain't seen him. So this white guy come up to me. He like, you looking for Bone? I said, yeah. Where he at? He was like, oh, he checked in. I said, what? He was like, yeah, he checked in. Like, I ain't want to say nothing, but then he touched his nose. I knew what that mean. This dude was a tutor. He was one of them dudes like the how can I say this without he's somebody that like to put stuff up his nose, if y'all get what I'm saying, a powdery substance, no matter what it is, right? So he, touch his nose or whatever. And I know what that mean. He want me to give him a little something, to get his mind right for this information. So now, as y'all know, I was against drugs in prison. I didn't sell it, didn't want to have nothing to do with it. But unfortunately, it was a big business in prison, and some of my partners, they was involved in it. So one of them was by me, so I gave him a look, like hit him off a little something. So he gave it to him, whatever, and he like, listen, Bone poured out that guy in your unit or whatever, your bunkie, and he went to the hole, and he was trying to get the guy Coco, the gay guy Coco. I said, yeah. He was like, yeah, he was trying to get at Coco too. And then, but I guess he couldn't. He got caught, whatever, so he just checked in the hole. I said, what? He said, yeah, Bone was cleaning the house. He went in there, did your bunkie in. Then he was looking for Coco. He tried to get Coco, but everybody was out, and he ran at Coco, but a lot of people rock with Coco, and they got in between them, and he did pull out a knife. They wrestled it away from him, and he took off running, and he went to the hole. I said, this motherfucker, right? So I said, all right, man. So my homeboy's like, man, what's up, man? So I said, it gotta be true, man. It gotta be true. So I said, you know what? I'ma holler at him. I'ma holler at him tonight. It was a captain that I used to knock off, in prison or whatever. She was from Detroit, and she was my home girl. So I know she could get me, to talk to him, whatever. So we just gonna fast forward to 2:00 in the morning, right? It's 2:00 in the morning. So she come to my cell, whatever, and I already put the word out to her via the cell phone conversation when she was at home, like, hey, when you come in today, I need for you to get me to the hole. I need to talk to the dude named Bone or whatever. She like, I got you, Dante. She bought me a couple ham and cheese sandwiches too or whatever. But anyway, that ain't important. So let's fast forward to 2-something in the morning. She knocked on my cell door, right? She opened it, right? And I get up. So she take me down to the corridor. We get on the elevator. We go downstairs to the hole, right? She get buzzed in. Now, Bone is laying in his bed, single man cell, right? With the bars or whatever. So I say, Bone. He instantly jump up. He like, what's up, Dante? I said, Bone, you know what I'm here for, right? He was like, man, Dante, man, I messed up, bruh. I messed up. I said, yeah, you did fuck up. You ain't just messed up, you fucked up. He was like, man, bruh, man, I've been in here for about 20 years, bruh. I've been in here for about 20 years, bruh. You know me. I said, Bone, listen, I told you, I don't care what you do. on your spare time, but your dog. But why did you? He like, man, Dante, I'm fucked up, man. I'm fucked up, man. I don't got nobody. Just, yeah, I did it. I did it. Yeah, I did it. You know, I poured the little homie out, and I was fucking Coco. Yeah, I said I did it, man. I said, Bone, man. He said, man, Dante, I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. I don't. I'm just fucked up, bro. So I mean, I checked in already. You know, they putting in an order for me to get transferred. So I would just like for you just drop it, just let it be. I said, Bone, look, man. Yeah, Bone, I can't let this go. You disrespected me. You disrespected the organization. I know we grew up or whatever, got history, got ties, whatever, but all that shit is severed. If you ain't out this prison in 1 week, I'm putting the word out when you out of here. He was like, man, Dante, please, man. Please. I said, no. And I walked off, right? Guard took me back to my cell. Bone would get transferred in the next 3 days, right? It was maybe a month later. We on the yard. Me and my homeboys, we on the yard doing what we do or whatever. And this guy come from the Pike, right? And he walk up to me, and you know my homeboys like, get up. You know, we don't know this dude. We don't know this cat. So he like, hey, is you Dante? I say, yeah, what's up? He was like, here you go. He gave me an envelope, right? And it had $1,000 in it. I said, what is this? He was like, dude named Bone, you know, from the Pike. I said, well, what about him? He was like, well, he just wanted you to know that, you know, he said he apologized for what happened and he just living his life now. I said, what you mean he just living his life? What are you saying? He was like, oh, well, he's living his life. I said, what do that mean? He was like, man, dude is out. He out. And I said, what? He was like, yeah, dude is living his life as a gay guy, whatever. He be out there with the sissies and stuff like that. So I'm looking at the envelope and I give it to my man Tar T. I said, listen, I don't want to have nothing to do with this money. Spread it out to the new inmates that's coming in. They ain't got nothing. And I walked off. Let me tell y'all something. For those that's out there that's committing crimes or whatever, understand this, man. Prison ain't no joke. It's not. It can change you. It will change you. I ain't gonna say it can. It will change you. It changed me. I wasn't always a violent guy. I was the class clown. You know what I'm saying? I was a cool, laid-back, chill dude, but prison changed me, man. I did things that I'm not proud of. I done did things in prison that I often ask God, will he forgive me for a lot of things that I have done and told people to do. Let me tell y'all something. When I got to prison, I told myself these two things. I'm not dying in here, and I'm not becoming a homosexual. If anybody or anything try to impose them two things on me of trying to kill me or trying to turn me into a homosexual or trying to get involved in that nonsense, I'm going all the way out. I'm pushing the line to the max, to the maximum, right? Leaving no room for error. Because self-preservation is number one. And manhood is equally as number one, number two. You understand? So for you cats out there that's committing crimes, I'll tell you firsthand, committing crimes is, there's no honor amongst thieves. We could go on and on and on about crime doesn't pay. Yeah, you might get that immediate dollar, a couple thousand here, a couple thousand there, but you won't really enjoy it because you always looking over your shoulder. And really, on the real, you always supposed to look over your shoulder. Because, shoot, the streets, the world is treacherous just like prison. It's just in prison, there's more control. But, yeah, man. Hey, I got a wild story that I'm dropping tomorrow. Y'all make sure y'all be in the building. My new upload schedule is 6 p.m. All right? Every day I'm dropping a new prison story at 6 p.m. Right? If you watching this video and you didn't get the notification, unsubscribe, subscribe back to the channel, hit that all notification bell. All right? And make sure if you ain't no member, if you're not a member, I'm going to leave that member link pinned at the top of the comment section. All right? With that, y'all, every day I upload at 6 p.m. Eastern time. Right? I'm out, y'all. Be safe. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to my movie and my gaming channel. I'm going to have that link pinned at the top of the comment section. Also, y'all subscribe to Stacy's Storytime. She's tell phenomenal stories just like myself. And if y'all feeling generous, make sure y'all leave me a tip. I'm accepting Cash App, Zelle, and PayPal. Until next time, y'all take care. I'm gone.